Hi, Brian. Thank you very much. And certainly a lot of mixed emotions among the three of us here. This is somebody who, of course, made a living in our industry. And John got a chance to be very close to Harry. And the Fidrich news, which is now just breaking about his passing. It's amazing. You think about two people. If you were to kind of list the history of baseball and go back over people that enjoyed the game, so many athletes right now are criticized for doing it for money, that Harry Kalas lived to be at the ballpark, and Fidrich seemed to have an embracement of the game that very few do. I know that we were with you when you found out about Harry. That was difficult, and I'm sure it's difficult to talk about it now. And yet you hear people say at the stadium he passed in the environment that he was most comfortable.
Yeah, where else? Right. Where else would he go but in a ballpark, in an announcer's booth? That's where he belonged. That's where his life was. Yeah, we miss him. We're going to miss him desperately. He was not only the people of Philadelphia, right. He was a friend to everybody. And I never, Karl, in all the years I've known Harry Kalas, I've never heard him say a bad word about him. You can't say that about a lot of people. Right. But just this calming voice in the worst of seasons, just having him around. I remember coming from Philadelphia to New York, riding in a town car every time we made the trip to New York with Harry, and we'd have beer and we'd talk about sports, we talk about everything in life, but we mostly talked about Phillies baseball and the history of baseball with him. Those are things I remember. You know, the fact that we played cards on the plane with him, and you know, just to hear his voice. He announced while we were playing cards, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Right. When we clinched a division, when we won a National League championship, we were in the clubhouse celebrating. Where's Harry? We need Harry here. He has to be here to sing for us. Right. And he would come in and join in the celebration. And I'm still in shock. And it's going to be a difficult day to get by without him.
Right. Well, you know, for people in Los Angeles, Vin Scully's name comes to mind. Milo Hamilton in Houston. There are so many countless others that are associated with teams, and Harry Kalas was one of those guys. John Sterling to a lesser degree, perhaps, to the Yankee fans. And you take from Kalas and you go to Mark Fidrich, and like Brian Kenny had just said, a lot of people don't know. I mean, the bird, which is what...
Karl, guys, thank you so much. Again, a good point there. Fidrich, genuine out there on the mound, talking to the baseball. It was just a thrill to watch. We'll have much more on him later on SportsCenter. Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, by the way, also had this to say, that he was shocked and saddened by Kalas's untimely and unexpected passing. He called Kalas a, quote, Philadelphia institution. Much more on the passing of Harry Kalas and Mark the Bird Fidrich later here during SportsCenter. We'll also have reaction on the Phillies' all-time great, the man that Harry Kalas called with such flair, Michael Jack Schmidt. Also today, the death of Philadelphia Phillies broadcaster Harry Kalas. In the broadcast booth before an afternoon game between the Phillies and Nationals, Kalas was found passed out, rushed to the hospital. He died shortly thereafter.
I'm just in shock right now, David. I've known him for a long, long time. He was Philly baseball.
Above all, I mean, yeah, he was a wonderful talent, but he really was a delightful guy. That first and foremost. And I'm sure the city of Philadelphia has been just decimated because they did love him completely.
Harry was a joy. You know, you always look forward, especially on travel day, to seeing Harry in the back of the airplane, knocked out, you know, mouth wide open, drooling, you know, waking up when you get there. Just, oh, we're here already? Coming to the ballpark and hearing his voice. And, you know, you always knew Harry is only one person that can sound that way all the time. You know, when I first met him, I thought that was just his TV voice, and, you know, he put on the show.
As a player, a lot of times you would hide from the broadcasters. Harry was the type of person you would actually seek out just because of that unique voice. But if you listen to him, he would help you, and he helped me. I'm going to miss him immensely. Just a heck of a guy. Harry would want us to play. Absolutely. And that would be his song today. Let the game go on and let's play it.
The game did go on with the Phillies and the Nationals. Harry Kalas with the Philadelphia Phillies since 1971 and was actually calling Major League ball games in 1965 with the Houston Astros. He was also honored by the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2002 with the Ford Frick Award. Was also, of course, that deep, rich voice of NFL films since 1975. Here, the all-time great Philadelphia Philly, Mike Schmidt, who joined Chris McKendry earlier on SportsCenter.
We now bring in Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt. Among the many highlights, Harry Kalas called 6 no-hitters and Mike Schmidt's 500th home run in April of 1987. Mike, can you tell us a little bit about Harry Kalas and how he connected so personally with the Phillies and the fans?
Well, yeah, on my first day, still a little bit of shock down here in Florida. I just received the news about 20 minutes minutes ago, and you know, it's a sad day around the Schmidt household, as it is, you know, in well, millions of households, not only in Philadelphia but around the country. Well, I can tell you a little bit about Harry Kalas. I don't think we have enough time to go into, you know, how much he has meant to Philadelphia Phillies fans, the organization, the individual players that played over the years. You know, guys like me that, you know, considered Harry family. You know, we traveled together. We went to dinner together. We played cards on the planes together. You know, we did a lot together. He was a wonderful guy with a wonderful smile, a wonderful sense of humor. He had a beautiful family. His two boys still heavily involved in baseball. You know, I just typed out a little message for the Phillies to use to, you know, to be broadcast around, and I think the best way I can sum up Harry's relationship to me was he gave me my name. He gave me my sports name, and people all over the country referred to me by the name that Harry actually gave me, Michael Jack. And every time I hear it now, the rest of my life, you know, his face and his smile will resonate.
Did he run that by you before he tried it, Michael Jack Schmidt? Did you know he was going to use that?
No, absolutely not. You know, he just came up with that one. And it worked. You know, it truly worked, and we were a good team when it came to home, you know, to a ball going over the wall.
Mr. Kalas.
Mike Schmidt, again, with Chris McKendry on SportsCenter earlier today, and they did play this ball game, the Phillies and the Nationals, the game that Harry Kalas for, the moment of silence before the game.
Phillies broadcaster Harry Kalas has died. Kalas is one of the all-time greats. Here's his call when the Phillies won the World Series last year.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
He spent 38 years with the Phillies, collapsed in a broadcast booth today before the Phillies' national game in Washington. A Hall of Famer, Kalas was 73 years old. Pistons play Chicago tonight. Very important game for them as far as playoff seeding.